Good afternoon. Welcome to another week of Song Breakdown with Madecipha, the owner and runner of Spider Bite Records out of New Haven, Connecticut. Let me start today by wishing Madecipha a very happy birthday.
Thank you.
He was turning 39 today. So we're going to get into it this week. This week we're going to take you way back to the beginning of everything, back in the early 2000s with a group called Madecipha, which was Madecipha and his rhyme partner Luminol. And the song that we're going to cover today is Question Mark. So again, it's 8 questions today, not 7, not 9. It's 8. We have 8 questions to break down the song Question Mark from the group Madecipha, excuse me. So let's get right into it, seeing I'm all tongue-tied already. First, let me ask you, to everybody out there that might not know or remember, or just a refresher, who was Madecipha?
As you said, Madecipha was a group with me and this dude Adam Fair, Luminol. We formed in 2004. I heard him rap, and we started, he lived in like the next town over than me. I started getting up with him all the time, and for a little while we were on the same page as far as everything. I had the name Madecipha ready. I spelled it with a Y. He wanted to do it with 3 eyes to keep your third eye open, and just we were bouncing, like kind of like how me and you are bouncing ideas back and forth with Wrenches is going and everything's working real well. That was me and Luminol, and in the early 2000s, like 2004, 2005, we were together for 7 years. So it lasted for a while, and it didn't when it eventually fizzled out. But in the beginning, man, me and him had a tight live show set. Everything was good. The music that we were making was dope. We were on the same page and everything, and we made music like, it was like sci-fi. It was horrorcore. Had a lot to do with religion. It had to do with a lot of stuff, and we were gaining traction. A lot of people knew who we were, and we had a lot of love.
What happened to you guys? I mean, so successful in the beginning, and then
Fell apart. Yeah.
I went away for a little while. I came back, and you guys were he was pretty much gone. So you want to go into that a little bit?
Yeah, and by that, around 2011, I had the name Righteousness Gone since like 2007, and it was going to be like in the beginning, like I have a MySpace page for it that I formed back then, that it was going to be like a super group with all these people in it. And in 2011, right after I made my second LP, To Whom It May Concern, I put an ad for it that Righteousness Gone was actually going to drop an album, and that's when I started working with Anthro, and like really made that my main group. Me and Luminol weren't really getting along. He had a writer's block for a long time. He wasn't really showing up to practice. He was more concerned with like girlfriend and stuff. And I don't want to talk shit about him. I'm not like a big shit talking guy. I don't like doing that. Luminol has never dissed me. He's never said anything publicly bad about me. I have nothing but love for Luminol. But we just had different work ethics. Like I have 21 albums out. I go. It's been a good 10 years since me and Luminol, and it'll be 10 years in November since we've done our last show at Toe's Place with Jedi Mind Tricks. Luminol doesn't even have an album out. Like he's just not into it. He was always on the lazy side, and I always worked hard, but I was crazy, and I was very difficult to deal with, and I'm gonna admit that. Like I'm gonna shit on myself a little bit and say that his dad called me Matty Psycho. I was I was very like bipolar at the time. Back then, girlfriends, friends in general, stuff. I'm bipolar 1. It was very, very hard to deal with me in those years. Not until recently have I been on the right medication, and I do the whole Joel Osteen thing, and I've become a lot more, as you've known me since the 90s, so I'm a lot more docile and chill and just really, really smooth sailing now. But at that point in my life, I was a complete maniac, and I think it took a toll on Luminol, and me being so prolific and progressive and wanting to do stuff all the time, and being with one group for 7 years and only producing one album and not really going further took a toll on me, and eventually we just had to go our separate ways, and we're not really friends anymore. I don't talk to him. I have no ill will against him whatsoever. I have no bad blood for him. I wish that he would make an album. I would probably put him out on Spider Bite if we had a sit down and we could get along, and he sees where I'm at now mentally and business wise and everything like that. But he kind of harbors a lot of resentment against me. Every time I try to reach out to him and talk to him, it kind of fizzles and nothing happens. And he hasn't really done much, maybe like a feature here and there. in the last couple of years. But
He was always talented. I remember
very,
that
very
about
talented
him.
dude. Yeah. What's the next question?
Well, next question is where is Luminol? But we kind of just went into that.
Yeah,
We don't know.
I don't really know.
In
I know
Connecticut somewhere.
he lives with his girlfriend. I heard he hopped on this kid song, and that was like the only thing he's done in years. I don't really know what he's up to. Again, I don't want to. I'm not really one to. I don't like dissing people anymore, or like being negative or anything like that. I'm just like, explaining what happened. I don't want to sound.
Being negative.
I don't want to
get you anywhere.
sound venomous or anything like
No.
that. Sitting there, saying negative things about him. It's just his grind and my grind were different. I remember one time his father was in the room and like said to him, "You're the more talented one in the group." And I remember hearing that, like, "Oh, okay, no doubt." You know what I mean? And now we're talking 10 years later. I'm like super well known. I have all this stuff out, and he pretty much got swept under the rug, and like no one even knows who he is anymore. And that's not my problem. Like maybe I had something to do with the group breaking up, and maybe I was hard to deal with, and I admit all that. But after we split up and went our own ways, he was free to do whatever he wants. He could have. I think he did start another group, and they fizzled away because the dude was, felt the same way I did. Like he was fed up with him not doing anything and just making it hard to work. So the kid that he was doing a group with kind of canned that group too, and he hasn't done anything by himself or anything, recorded anything. There's no project that he got coming out that I know of, and it's kind of sad. But like I forgive myself for the whole situation of my part of it. I tried to explain to him like, hey, look, this is where I was, this is where I'm at, kind of a thing. But his destiny was not in my hands. Just like no matter who I like, whoever's in my path, I was in a group with him. Then I was in a group with Anthro for a while, and me and Anthro had a fallout, and I kept moving. I started a group with Freeze. Me and Freeze had a fall off. I kept going. I did a project with 5 a.m. That whatever. I kept going. I went through all these producers. I'm like a one-man show. Like me and you are in a group now. If me and you have a fallout, I'm gonna find someone else to work with, and that's no disrespect to you. That's just how I am. If me and Evo don't get up to make beats anymore, I'm gonna find another producer. I'll fuck with Miggs. If Miggs stops making beats for us, we'll get another guy. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things that
I think that out of all the groups you just mentioned, I think you and 5 a.m. had the most successful.
We did have the most successful, yeah.
You guys started the project and finished it, and it got rave reviews.
And it was easy to make, too. It was like
everyone else was a lot of conflict, but 5 a.m. was real cool to work with, always wanted to work, very hungry, just stopped rapping.
But the thing with that project was, he told me it was just a side project and he couldn't really take it more serious, but it turned out to be one of my best projects and my best selling projects.
That's the Completely Disrespectful album, which you can get on SpiderByRecords.com. But back to the Modify side, I want to go into a different group. Let me go into the song. Question Mark is the name of the song. You can see it on SpiderBite YouTube channel, where you can type in Modify Psy, question mark, or just Modify Psy. It's usually the first one that pops up. Who made the beat? Because it doesn't sound like any of the other beats.
Yeah, my homie Sean did from back in the day, a.k.a. Riot, Sean Benton. Interesting story about him. I've known him since I was 12 years old. His brother Myron was making beats back then. I would go to his house. He lived down the street from me in West Haven where I grew up. And his brother had MPCs and stuff like that. I was making beats and actually had a sample that I remember they shopped the tape and somebody jacked the sample, like took the idea and pitched it to LL Cool J, and LL Cool J used it for Hey Lover. And I remember going to his house when that happened and him being furious. It was one of my first experiences with seeing someone like, how like this person jacks a sample from this person now, or this, now we know what that is. But I was 12 years old watching this happen with this dude who was like, like much older than me, and like literally ready to shoot somebody over it. And it went on to be like they took the same sample and made LL with it. Well, this was his little brother, and me and his little brother were like really good friends in the same age, and he went on to make beats. And Riot's a super, super dope rapper. And I've never worked with him. I always wanted to. He's always got a lot going on. Him and Mustafa were like some of the original guys that I started working with back in the early 2000s, like 2002, 2003. I was with them all the time and really building with them. And he made the beat, and it's the only beat of his I've ever used, and it's the only time I kind of collaborated with him, because like I said, he doesn't spit on any of my stuff, even though I've always tried to get him on it. It's nothing but love when I see him. Me and him are super tight. Like I could go a year without seeing him, run into him, and it's like we've been homies for life type shit. You know what I'm saying? We've never ever had a bad like fallout, any kind of problem between us ever. Yeah, man, he made that beat, and it was
It's a dope beat.
It's a dope beat, yeah.
It sounds way different like the other beats that were produced.
He's one of the only people actually that I know, especially knowing for that long, that I haven't had any kind of conflict with.
So the title of the song, question mark, where did that come from?
Oh, that's Luminol. I forget what his whole concept with the thing was. Question the questions, and you know what I'm saying. Like everyone was just kind of does what they're told, and everything. And Luminol was like on some, you should like actually think about what's going on and everything, which is weird to me because last time I talked to him, he was all bugging out about this coronavirus thing, and he seemed kind of like one of the, I don't want to call him a sheep by any means, but he was on one of those like, I'm taking this super super serious, where I, like, to be honest with you, didn't really like take their corona, not that I didn't take it super serious, but I wasn't like, I didn't like lose my mind over it like everybody else did. You know what I'm saying? I was kind of like, all right, cool, I'll wear the mask, I'll go out, but I'm not running to get vaccinated or anything like that. I'm not really like whatever about it, but Luminol seemed to be more concerned than I was about it. Like he didn't want to come to the studio until this whole thing was over, and I'm like, I'm not gonna stop living my life. I'm not saying it's not real or whatever, but I wasn't gonna stop doing what I was doing. I'm still gonna, by any means, even now they're saying the mask mandates are coming back, whatever, I'm still gonna do what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Yeah. The landlady emailed us, we have to wear a mask to get in the studio again, just so you know, when you come over next Sunday. So stuff like that. But I mean, I found it funny because like he was the one that's like, normally Luminol, I remember when stuff like this would happen, he would be questioning what they were telling us, kind of like how I am, you know what I mean? Like, is Fauci like about it, or like is this whole thing a crock of shit, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that. That's what the concept of the song was, and it turns out that
it's to question what you see.
It's question authority, like, you know what I mean? Like read between the lines. Is there more going on than meets the eye? It's kind of what it's the basis of the whole situation was.
All right. To quote one of your lyrics, because I like to do this with every song that we talk about, this one's one of my personal favorites. You're a novelty act, I can promise you that. You rap like a novice, and it's obviously whack.
Yeah. So that was just kind of that wasn't directed towards anyone in general.
That's a dope line, though.
I think it was kind of like for like people like Soulja Boy, ta-la-la, you know what I mean? Like people like that are just like obviously not like, and again, like, I don't like
flavor of the month.
Yeah, I don't like, even with people like him, like he did his thing and sold so many records. I don't want to talk shit about him because it is what it is, and I don't like now the new Ryan Bond, Madecipha, doesn't like hating on anyone, even if he doesn't like him. I try to give everyone their props. So whatever with Soulja Boy, I'm just saying it was geared toward rappers that come out and have dances and have one-hit wonders, and you know what I mean. They didn't really grind, and they weren't like MCing and everything. You're a novelty act, you know what I mean? Come out with a dance. I promise you that you're not like a real MC. You rap like a novice. Your skill level sucks, and it's obviously whack. Like your shit sucks. You know what I'm saying? Basically, how I put it down.
Answer.
So that's kind of how it went. Like I said, it wasn't like a diss to anyone in CT hip hop or anything like that. I'm not a big disser. Even when people diss me, so many people have dissed me. I've never listened. I didn't listen to when Fury dissed me. I still haven't heard the Freeze diss. I know what they say, but I really don't listen to. I've never listened to the songs. I don't, just like Joel Osteen. Like I listen to him, and he says when people talk negative about him, he just ignores it and doesn't finish the article or changes the channel or changes the website link. And I kind of do the same thing. I like it'll register that you come at me like that, but I'm not gonna feed into it or give you the time of day, and I'm not gonna respond unless it's like super super necessary. You know what I mean?
So how was this song performing live? I've seen a few YouTube videos of it being done live, and I've also been there while the song was performing live. But how was it for you as a performer doing the song?
Yeah, we did it at Toad's Place at the 420 2009 show with Jedi Mind Tricks and Apathy, and it was a good concert song because it's like, I suggest that you question the questions, say modify psi, and then the beat stops, and the whole crowd would always go modify psi really loud. So it was like, it was one of those songs that had, we should actually do something like that. It had crowd interaction with it, you know what I'm saying? It was it definitely had what do you call it? It was meant to be done live, and it worked really well. It was one of our best concert songs we've done.
But I think with one of the releases that we're going to be releasing, definitely huge crowd involvement with one of the songs.
What song would that be?
Get Loud.
Oh yeah, Get Loud.
Get Loud is going to be that party, get the
yeah
the riot maker.
Check out that New Righteousness Gone coming soon. We gotta drop a single soon.
We'll talk about that. Back to this. I noticed you re-released basically your whole catalog.
Yep.
But not this.
Yep.
What's up? Like, it's one of my favorite albums because it was when I came into this. You came into Radio Shack. I was managing. You were like, "Hey, come check us out. Danny will make you some beats. We'll get. I'll help you come along." So, and then when I came to you, it was Joey Styles, Danny, you, and Adam, and that was kind of how I was brought into the group, way back in the early 2000s.
Yeah, it was like 2005, right?
So to me, it's a lot of sentimental with this album because I was there for most of the performances. It was always a fun one for me to listen to because there's so many collabs in this album. Eyes Wide Open. So each song, it's just one of those CDs like when you put in Bone Thugs East 1999. You just press play and you let it run. That's how
That's how you feel about this album?
Yeah, Eyes Wide Open is a banger.
I don't like this album. I'm not really a fan of it. I think the whole thing was rushed. I think by the time, you got to think these songs were from 2005, 2006, and it didn't get recorded till 2011. It came out March 13th, 2011. So by the time that it came out, me and him weren't getting along, and it was just a matter of like getting to the studio and trying to get it done just to be able to say that we made the album, because I put so much time and effort and energy into that group that I was like I was not willing to accept not making an album. I wasn't going to break up and not have an album come out and spent 7 years of my life in a rap group. So I was determined to make an album that we went there and just got through it, but it wasn't like me and you where everything is going smooth. If we don't like a take, we redo it. It was kind of like we did it and it just came out the way it came out.
You were in a different mindset.
And I was in a way different mindset, and I just wanted to get it.
You understand the business more now.
I wanted to get it out, and we put it out on long range distribution. I owned 25% of it. Lumino owned 25% of it, and the dude owned 50% of it. I went and spent X amount of dollars and bought the dude Mark Kemp's rights. So now I own 75% of the album, and Lumino owns 25%. I mean, I'm entitled to repress it up. I would have to give Lumino a couple dollars every once in a while when I sell CDs, and the digital, I just haven't got around to it yet. It's definitely one of my...
Is it in the plan, though? Or is you just going to let it sit for a while? Because it's been sitting for, what would it be, 2021, 2011 you recorded it?
Yeah.
Released it?
Yeah.
It was 10 years. It's a long time. Just, like ICP had Carnival of Carnage, first album, and they eventually remastered it and re-released it. So this is like your...
Well, this would be more like Dog Beats.
This is your Dog Beats, you feel?
Yeah, kind of. This would be more like Dog Beats, and then... they re-released Dog Beats on CDs years later at the Gathering and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll eventually make another pressing of it and change some of the artwork and do that. I just you know, I tried to reach out to Luminol.
I can't even find him on social media. I went looking for him.
Yeah, he's not.
He's like a ghost.
He is like a ghost, and
I don't know. Everybody has Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Adam. You know, I looked at Adam's name. I checked Luminol. Nothing. I tried different sequences. But so yeah. I mean, that's the 8 questions I have. If you want to add anything else.
I just, with this album, since we're on this album, I just feel like strongly that I never listened to this album. I feel like it's one of my worst projects. I'm not really.
It's a good album, especially that song so far. It's the best song on the CD.
I just kind of, you know. It does have some collabs on it, but they're all like, you know,
they're dope collabs though. You know what I'm saying? Like that song "Wake Up Dead." You know, it's every night.
Who's on "Wake Up Dead"?
You, Adam, and you redid it so many times. It was you, Adam, and Benny. You didn't even talk about Benny.
Oh yeah, I didn't even talk about.
There was a third member.
There was a third member. Yeah.
There was Benny, and then you took him off, and I think you and Adam did it. You added the third verse, but you split the verse.
There's The Affair.
You had switched ups with that too. You ended up adding Freeze to it.
Freeze and Donnie are on that.
You took someone off. But yeah, there's so many switch ups from the original plan. Like what you have now is a good product, and you should put it out to people who want to listen to it. I mean, it is online if you want to listen to it. Just go to the Spider Bite YouTube channel. Just list it. You know, scroll through the links here. You can see it up there.
Modify Sigh, Eyes Wide Open, full album. You can listen to the whole thing. Maybe I'll put it back out. I don't know. I've had so much stuff on the table. I kind of wanted to have a sit down with Luminol before I did all that. You know what I mean?
I have a wild card question to add in this week.
Go ahead.
I got a wild card for you. If Luminol ever entered the scene again and wanted to regroup with you and do Modify Sigh as your new government, which is supposed to be the second album,
yep,
would you do it?
Nope.
That group is
done. Donezo. I would put him out as a solo artist on Spider
Man. You help him.
If he showed work ethic, that he was trying to get shit done and really putting forth effort and coming to me and songs were getting done and making studio time and coming and getting done, and he asked me to put his record out, I would probably put his record out if we were getting along. I would make appearances and stuff like that. And Righteousness Gone is my main thing. If, you know, maybe if time went by, maybe possible make an 8-track Is Your New Government EP.
So the door is open that there is
it's not open. It's like
someone forgot to lock it and like you can open it, like it's cracked.
It's got like a small crack in it. Like I'm not, and it's a really heavy door. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of those solid steel doors
these days, man.
So I'm not looking to open that. I like Righteousness Going way better. I'm not looking to do that again. I highly doubt that'll happen. And even if I was to run into him, the chances of me trying to rekindle that and going that bad, that's like, you know what I mean? There'd be a better chance of me doing Modify Sigh than there would be me doing UFO. You know what I mean?
That's a different group for a different time there.
But you know, I'm just saying, like out of things in the past, I mean, I would do if 5 a.m. started rapping again and was like I want to do Still Disrespectful, I would probably do it. If Luminol came up to me and after a little bit of time was on some I want to do Modify Sigh, I'd have to really, really, really think about it and whatever. Obviously, me and you are my main priority right now, and I'm focused on that. And if they can't Freeze and whoever, Amanda, came to me and they wanted to squash the beef and wanted to do UFO, there would be absolutely no chance I would ever do UFO. I tell them to go do UFO with D Naz, and they have my blessing on that, and I'm fine with them. Kind of like how I kicked out Anthro, and now you're in you know, Righteousness Gone. They go do the UFO thing without me, and I really wouldn't be upset about it.
But you own the rights to UFO though?
I own the rights to like that album.
Okay.
Like that, they can't do anything with that album without me. Like if he wants CDs, he's gonna have to contact you, and I'm gonna have to send a box to his house. He can't like get anything without me. Like everything's on my name, kind of a thing. But if he wants to go out and make another album and have whatever, he would have full control of it, which would probably be better off.
So as I can see, if thing from everything you just explained, like every project that you've done is kind of like a different chapter in your music career.
Yep.
And once those chapters pass, you kind of no looking back, always looking forward.
Yeah, I mean, except Righteousness Gone. We reopened that wound, and now it's me and you.
Cool.
So, we done?
That's it.
That's it.
See you guys next Sunday.
I don't know. What's the next Sunday going to be? What song are we going to do?
We'll figure that out during the week. Peace.